Fuck, man. For some reason my browser's like lagging a fuck ton. Can anybody hear me? This is fucking weird. I don't know what to do. That's odd. Yeah, my browser. Google Chrome. For some reason it's just being strange. I can't even, yeah. Damn, that was weird. I don't know if it's my hard drive or what the fuck. Sorry. This is probably going to interrupt the jams, which kind of sucks because it's... immediate technical difficulties right out the gate. That's my favorite song. Cha-chong. Alright, restore. Whatever. We'll just listen to some sci-fi shit. Okay. We're back. I don't know what that was all about. Bit silly. Bit silly, don't you think? Let's see. Maybe it's just communicating with my hard drive. It's... holy shit. Oh, fuck, dude. Oh, dude, I feel like this hard drive's getting corrupted or something. Maybe just cancel that. You know, whatever. It happened again. It fucking... dude. That's so odd. So, like, basically I'm trying to send a tweet out, but I'm trying to add, like, a file to the tweet, but the tweet... I don't know if it's the communication between the hard drives. That's fucking stupid as shit, dude. Fuck. Sorry, dudes. It shouldn't interrupt the stream, but I just gotta get this. That's so fucking dumb. Whatever. Fuck Twitter. Twitter sucks anyways. Restore. Okay. God damn, that was annoying as shit. And now I'm hot. Now I'm hot. Oh wait, I already got the chat popped out. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. Frankie B, welcome back. For 7 months. Sounds nice and clear, Let's Read. Thank you, Frankie. Good to see you. Appreciate you guys being patient with me here. I don't know. And Frankie B with the 10. Thank you, Frankie. You the goat. Thank you, Frankie. Spanky Frankie. Thank you for the 10. And Stephanie Bowling, thank you for the 10 as well. Says Jacob is going to have a boring day tomorrow because tomorrow Jacob will be doing the bailiff role. So Jacob will be in a courtroom from 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. taking people to jail as the judge will say. Interesting. He'll bring them up to the executioner to be executed for... Joel swears in cursive, yes. I hold my pinky up every time I say shit and fart. Yeah, so like basically it was like trying to share the link to Twitter. I mean, hopefully people, if they even care, they'll have seen the previous notification and come looking. Cursive. But yeah, then I would try to share like, you know, that skull bouncing GIF file, you know, and for some reason, like trying to access those files for some reason just like made my computer's head explode. I don't know if it was because it was going between hard drives, between one hard drive and the other, because I think I run Chrome through my normal C drive, which where my operating system is, and then have my like photos and stuff in a separate drive. So I don't know, it's weird sometimes. But how are you guys doing? Now we got that out of the way. It's good to see you. Delete the corn. There's too much. There's a whole field that needs to be harvested. I wonder if there's anybody in the world that still downloads porn. I feel like that would just be like such a waste of hard drive space. Or I don't even know. I feel like most people go to streaming sites anyways. David De La Rosa with the 2 says, "Hi Joel, what's up, buddy?" What's up, David? How art thou? What's up, Chill 52? What's the good news? Your first live in a minute, OJ. Good to see ya. Glad you beat the charges. If the glove don't fit, you must have quit. Oh, George, just got home from half of a massive tattoo based off my favorite anime and anime character, Alan Walker from D. Gray Man. My arm hurts though. Let's look up this D. Gray Man. See what he sounds like. Or no, Alan Walker. D. Gray Man. I'm fascinated. Riku Evans with the big 20 says, "I hope you're having a good night so far." Thank you, Riku. I hope I'm saying your name right there, but thank you for the big 20 buccarinos. Thank you, thank you. And Stephanie Bowling, thank you for the do. Says Jacob has to get up at 6:30 a.m., so he's snoring. Jacob is Audi 530. You should put some whipped cream on his hand, and then take a feather and tickle his face and see what happens. And Tim Richards, welcome back for half a year. Says, "You are a vital part of my week. I appreciate the hell out of you. Thanks for sharing your time with us." Well, thank you, Tim. You guys are very important to me as well. You guys keep me quite structured. Reynold, we're fake? I am fake, actually. I am just an AI built to keep you guys comfortable so you don't do anything too crazy. So you don't go out into the streets and get wild, get stupid. Let's check out this Alan Walker character. He's playing the piano. Alan Walker awakens as the 14th Noah. Let's take a listen. I guess we should probably do the English version, huh? Alan Walker, D. Gray Man, English dub. Nia Walker's First Awakening, English dub. Alan Walker and Crowned Clown versus Taiki Mick. Oh, it's like a whole last episode.
Oh well, you should worry about yourself first.
It's so funny, like in anime, whenever like they're like pressing into each other, and there's always one character who's like not really struggling, and then there's one going, "Shut up, you!" And I just always find it funny because I don't think there's ever been a circumstance in any human interaction whereupon two people have collided, either with fisticuffs and or sword, wherein both items are just kind of like locked into one another, in which they can have like some sort of ongoing expositional dialogue. That's just something that's just like straight up anime.
Careful, boy. Don't fall.
Alright. So they're fighting on some amazing Greek architecture right now. I'd like to hear. Does he ever talk?
I'll never forget the way that felt.
I'll never forget the way that felt. Alright, whatever. We're not going to find out. If you have an idea for a dialogue one, I just wanted to see what he sounded like. Lynn with the 2 says playing Pokemon Omega. Ruby, let's go. Much love. Nice. I assume you have made it home and you are free from the clutches of school. Put the sub on, it sounds like hentai. Signed directly into my OnlyFans. I'll make an OnlyFans with 10 hours of hentai ASMR noises. I do need to make some augmentations to my current desk setup. I need to get a big flippin' basically I need to get a curtain. I don't know, I just thought that it would be good. I thought somebody could make some edits to my stuff, but I really need to get this like a hospital curtain kind of around my entire desk with like some really heavy blankets to absorb sound whenever my character gets loud, because otherwise you can just like hear the entire basement echoing. It's not great. Not good, folks. Not good. Blackout curtains. Well, that's the thing, is I just need to get the structure, or like, you know, the pole curtains set up. I mean, I guess I could get ones that I could wheel in or something like that and set them up like that, but I don't know, it would be nice, like, after I'm done with it, to just be able to, like, quickly, like, whoosh, 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 you know, easy peasy schmeasy. Stephanie Bowling with the 5 says, you might be thinking that someone may give Jacob trouble tomorrow in the courtroom. He handcuffed someone, but keep in mind, Jacob is 6'5", so yeah, oh my gosh. He's an absolute freak beast. He could squish anybody's head with the palm of his hand. I'd sure hate for him to put me in cuffs. How many bodies I got in my basement? So far, Pradeep is here. I am here. And whoever is under my current floorboards. That's a good idea, honestly. Just use the bodies as like sound dampening furniture. I just need a few more. A few more is all. That's all I need. Pretty easy to wait, would you say? Or you could get a tension rod. Oh, like one that goes between. That'd be a long tension rod. I'll have to hold the tension the whole time. Hold it. And I can make wait. Sounds. Had my MRI waiting on the results in my brain, having bad episodes of migraines. Had to use dye and lay there for an hour. Anyone who's had knows the cramped feeling. Yeah, that would be pretty scary. I hope they don't find anything really bad, but I hope they get it figured out for you. I don't know. Check the vents. Yeah, holding it together. The tension rod's between my cheeks, holding them open every time I shit. Ugh. But then they just like snap it in half, splattering poop everywhere. Wart, wart, wart. What did the Covenant soldier get when he touched An earth frog. Wart, wart, wart. Boom. It's a new Halo themed joke for everyone to use. Free of charge. He worked with a guy who was 6'5" and a giant moron. Oh my goodness, poor guy. He's got the bronze. He just didn't have the brains. Who knows? Maybe he was just pretending. Stephanie Bowling with the 2 says, Joel, you and Jacob are friends, so you're good. Okay, whew. That means I can do whatever crime I want. And Jacob wouldn't even dare lay a hand on me. Playing Pokemon Go, nice. Can you play it? Do you have to be out and about, or you just got it in the background? Also, tonight, we've got some car trouble stories. I'm still trying to figure out how to, like, title the video, though. What's up, Sarah Moon? I'm thinking, do we want to name it car trouble stories, car breakdowns? I don't know. Sometimes the story titles just don't really flow off the tongue, so to speak. How many stories we got tonight? I believe we got 6 or 7. Yeah, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 7. We got 7. Have you heard the banner kick anyone out from the live stream? Not very often. Sometimes people just kind of come in right out the gate. I don't really make an announcement if they get banned or whatever. But it's very, very seldom. That, I don't know, where they just generally seem like something's wrong with them. They can't stop, like, spamming or, I don't know, just very socially scary or something. I don't know. Just read the stories, Joel. I mean, that's pretty common. I usually don't ban people for that kind of stuff because I just time them out and they go away for a while. Do you see the hearts we send you? I see hearts on next to Shanus's, but maybe I can switch to live chat. I don't know if it like captures everything that's sent. But if I can get over 2,000 hearts, I will be free from the cycle. Another minute. We'll kick it off here. You like when I go on tangents? It's good, it's good. I like to go on tangents, you know? Changes things up a little bit. I get to muse about various topics that you guys might inquire about, and to me, that's the most fun. 2,000 farts, doable. Is that like 1,000 gex? It's their side project. 2,000 farts. Kayla, thank you. How old am I? I am 32, soon to be 33 in June. Have you had any tornado stories? Just curious. I feel like I did actually have a natural disasters stories before. And that video didn't do very well because I don't think YouTube pushes those really out to anybody. What do you want to do for your B-Day? Yeah, so my birthday is on June 4th, right? And I'm fortunate where... So I'm thinking the 3rd, Saturday, I will go ahead and stream the stories that'll be coming out on that subsequent Monday. But then, you know, I'll do that and then I'll promote Sunday's stream the day after, which will just be me playing games. And I'll already have the video edited, ready to rock and roll, so then I can just, we'll be playing probably like, just those like sort of choose your own adventure, like, I forget what that is. kind of like, I forget what it was called. I think Dawn, what's it called? Last Dawn. The Dawn of Us. The Last of Us Dawn. I fucking forget. Did you have any cat call like whistling in your home again? You know, I didn't. I've been doing a bit of prayer, and I find that the house does not, until dawn, there you go, doesn't feel like it used to feel. Like, it's not like the areas in which I felt were really strange don't feel like heavy. But I remember I was talking to somebody who's into that sort of stuff, and like, when I was thinking about where the whistling could have been coming from, because they made a good point that like whenever somebody was, or you know, I told you that people were working on the house and stuff, they said like when people are working on the house, sometimes that can like kind of like awaken things, you know what I mean? And I don't know, like spiritually or whatever, because coincidentally there was a weird painting that I have of a of an old owl, and then it fell off the wall, and then that was like after the time I heard the whistling and stuff, and it was really strange too, because like it was hanging off of a hook, right? But then whenever I went to like look at it, which where it was coming from might have been from that direction, almost as if though it was coming from the painting or some shit, at least in that general vicinity. And like whenever I went to like see it, when I saw that it was laying on the ground, the nail that like held it in was really fucking weird. It was like bent at like a 90-degree angle, like as if though it was just like jutted down, you know. But I'm like thinking to myself, like maybe the weight from like pounding outside could have pushed it forward and then added weight to it. But I'm thinking like there's a really small margin on which you like hang paintings anyways, so like to see it, I don't know, get bent like that, it was very strange. But then the fact that I took the painting and then moved it out into the sort of living room, dining room area, and then during the live stream we heard somebody walking above us, you know, and you guys were there for it. That VOD is still live if you guys want to go listen to it. There's a timestamp fucking pinned at the top. I was like, I wonder if like the fact that I've moved it and it was over there. And then my friend who was into those types of things, like related to like haunted objects and stuff, they said, let me look at the painting. And they said, well, first off, that's creepy as fuck, because it is a very kind of creepy painting of an owl that has like black eyes that I got at a fucking I got it at like an antique store like years and years ago from my old place I used to live in just for decoration. And then whenever I showed the entire thing, they're like, look right there. And I looked, and it was at the bottom left. It was like a Japanese symbol that I think they called like a kenji or some shit like that. But it was basically like those Japanese gates, like that you kind of like walk through, almost like a decorative garden type thing, but you see them in like royalty or whatever. And I don't know, I guess there's like some correlation between the fact that it was like some sort of Japanese gate and it being like some type of like portal, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, the torii, that's what it was called. Japanese torii gate. Yeah, it was like a picture of a torii gate in the bottom, and it was just really weird. It was really weird that like that was the painting, and then my friend looked at it and he was like, well, holy shit, look at that, and it's got a torii gate right on it, which is supposedly some sort of spiritual gate. Yeah, there you go, Shane, it's that one right there. And Jack, oops, I missed these here. Butterstock Cult Prophet, welcome back for a month. Says Joel, you are Jacob's master. He will never betray you. The King of Kings is loyal to you. You're pushing Jacob to main event status, so he's successful. Let's go. And Jacqueline W, welcome back for 2 months. Says, hey Joel, are we ever going to get some creepy birthday stories in the countdown to your B-Day? That would be good, actually, going up, but there definitely are some B-Day related stories. Can we see the painting? I could post it on Twitter. You could take a peek at it. I still have it. God, I don't know. Now I feel like I felt like not. Oh my God. yeah, I feel, I wasn't thinking about it. Now I'm thinking about it again. Man, fuck. You know, it does really, I can understand that these types of things really do play off like energy, you know what I mean? And, whatever. Yeah, let's just not even worry about it. Let's read some fucking terrifying stories, shall we? Just found you the past 2 weeks, and I gotta say, I absolutely love it. It's what I fall asleep to every night. Thank you. Shared with my friend. He listens. Nice. Thank you, Renee. Appreciate you. Yeah. I wonder if anybody's found me through my shorts. I've been posting some shorts, hoping to pick up some new people. And I've seen one person say they found me through shorts. So that was pretty cool. Let's go. All right. Let's do this thing. This stang. Just talk to it like a normal person because they are. You don't think it's malicious, right? Probably is, honestly. I don't really believe in the whole like ghost type stuck scenario. I'm more lean towards like all of them are malicious. Maybe, I don't know. Or at least they're here for a limited... I don't fucking know, honestly. I have no fucking clue. It's whatever. So this story really traumatized me. It happened about a year ago on my way home from college. My parents live 6 hours from campus, so I decided to drive home after my last day so I could spend the summer at home and prepare for my senior year of college in the fall. Unfortunately, my summer break had to start with a memory that I'm sure will be seared in my brain for years to come. My last exam ended around 4, and I decided to get some dinner with a few friends that I probably wouldn't see for the summer. We hung out a little later than I wanted, and I didn't start the 6-hour drive home until after 9 p.m. I was looking at getting home at around 3 a.m., which my parents were not thrilled about. The drive wasn't bad. From the restaurant we ate at, it only takes about 10 minutes to get to the highway, and then it's almost a straight shot to my hometown. I love to drive, especially at night. The traffic is light, and there is something about just traveling great distances in a vehicle that really makes me feel alive. I could sit alone with my thoughts or jam out to some early 2000 hits and just be happy as a ham. Luckily, I usually stay up late, so I wasn't worried about getting tired or anything like that. When I hit the 2-hour mark, it started to storm pretty badly. It was that sideways rain that made it incredibly hard to see. Deciding to be safe rather than sorry, I pulled into a rest area. It was one of those 24-hour gas stations attached to a fast food restaurant, so I figured that I would get a Red Bull and maybe something to eat and read for a little bit until the rain subsided. After all, for the first time since that school year started, I finally wasn't in a hurry. I took some snacks to my car, found my book in the bag, and started to read. In the bag. How does one become happy as a ham? I don't know. You just gotta try real hard. You just gotta baste yourself. Dive around some slop. Alright, sorry about that. Gemini Roads. Nice. That's awesome. What kind of content do you do on your channel? I took some snacks to my car, found my book in my bag, and started to read. What was nice about this rest stop was that it was kind of busy, even though it was 1 a.m, so I felt pretty comfortable sitting in the parking lot reading. The rain started to stop and slow down to a light sprinkle, but I wanted to finish the last chapters since I only had a couple of pages left. As I was finishing up, I could hear the sound of heavy panting outside the car, almost like gasps of air. After a few seconds, I finally looked up from my book, and there was a woman pacing right outside my car. She looked hysterical and upset. I hate to judge people, but she looked a little crazy too, so I just tried to ignore her. Within seconds of putting my head back down, the woman ran at my car and started to bang on my window. She was screaming, and it almost seemed like she was trying to open my door, but I can't be too sure about that. I didn't say anything, I just sort of looked at her and tried to process what was happening. And then she started screaming. "Please, let me in, or at least let me use your phone. He's gonna get me." I didn't unlock the door, of course, but I did shout through the closed window, "Who's trying to get you?" The woman just started screaming, becoming more and more incoherent and nearly impossible to understand through all of her sobs. In what sounded like desperation, she was able to formulate words and screamed again. "Please, I can see your phone right there. Please, just let me use it really quick." And this is where I thought I was making the right decision. My friends at school always called me weak, soft, and too trusting. It's probably why every boyfriend I ever had has walked all over me. So I decided that I wasn't going to be so trusting anymore. Mainly because I didn't know this insane woman, but also because she wanted my phone and I could clearly see a cell phone directly in her hand. With confidence, I shouted back, "Yeah, nice try. I can see the phone in your hand. Get away or I'll call the cops." Now, feeling confident in my newly found backbone, I thought for sure that that would scare the woman away. But instead, she started to freak out even more. She started to wave the phone around in her hand, and I could clearly see a destroyed and cracked screen, and she shouted, "My husband broke my phone. Please, call the cops before he gets here." Right at that moment, she let out a scream which still haunts me. A big silver pickup truck came flying into the parking lot, running over the curb on its way. At that moment, I could see the Clefairy. I could see a Clefairy she had caught in Pokemon Go. Joel got those acting skills. Not really. I mean, I kind of do it on a dry run. I feel like when I'm like coached, I haven't been coached often, but I feel like when I am coached, you can get a good take out of me, but sometimes I don't know. And I can't really in this situation, I can't really scream. Otherwise, I'll wake everybody up while reading or listening. Buttersock called Profato with a 10 says the reason why Jacob is successful is because he's loyal to Joel, and because of his loyalty, Joel is pushing Jacob to the top. Jacob is now a Buttersock cult lord. Jacob and Joel are in control now. Oh my god. But thank you, Buttersockian. And Chrisnopolis, thank you for the 5 gifters. Welcome. Brent Forte, Angel Diamond, Shell, Fry, and Cinnamon. To the Buttersock Cult, you now have access to bonus content. Honest question, where do you get your outro sizzles at the end of your videos? I love falling asleep but waiting for the end and laughing. Yeah, we just make them up here during the streams. A lot of people, and I just ask, what do you guys want to say at the end that's funny? And then they type something, and if I find it funny, I just say it. True scary stories, deep web, true crime, etc. You're a big inspiration to me. I can't believe you said my... Oh, no worries, Gemini, no worries. We're all just chilling. $100 billin'. Hey, Fairy. A big silver pickup truck came flying into the parking lot, running over the curb on its way. At that moment, I could see the clear fear written on this poor woman's face. And then I realized that she wasn't some crazy drug addict, but a woman who was clearly in danger. Before I could lend a hand, she turned and ran, and a smaller but muscular man got out of the car and started to chase this woman. I got out my phone to call the police, and thankfully at that moment, 2 squad cars had already pulled into the lot. They immediately identified this man and arrested him swiftly. The man didn't even seem to notice that he was being apprehended at the time. He just stared at this woman with these rage-filled eyes, it seemed like. And once they took the man, I got out of the car to make sure that the woman was all right, and I apologized profusely for not trusting her. She called someone for a ride, and I sat in the parking lot for a while longer, trying to calm down from what I just witnessed. I went inside to grab a coffee for the rest of my drive, and I was speaking to the woman at the cash register for a little while. She told me that the woman had ruin. She told me that the woman had run in there, going crazy, yelling about her husband trying to get her, and that they needed to call for help. The cashier told me that they get 12 of crazy... They get 1 dozen every night, a baker's dozen. The cashier told me that they get dozens of crazy people in there every night, and she... my voice cracked. The cashier told me that they get dozens of crazy people in there every night, and she can't be sure who is telling the truth or who is just messed up. She called the police for the woman and then kicked her out of the store because the cashier thought that the woman may have been on something, just like I did. I thought about that incident during my entire drive home. I realized that I may not have been in direct danger, but just the entire series of events really messed me up. The fear and pain that I could see in the woman's eyes still makes my stomach turn, and the look in the man's eyes is something I'll never forget. He looked like he had some serious, sinister intentions, and I'll never forget the memory of him running full speed at my car, chasing that woman. To this day, I don't know what happened to that man or woman, and most disturbingly, I don't know what's the man. And most disturbingly, I don't know what motivated that man to do that night, but judging by his demeanor and erratic behavior, whatever he intended was not good. Buttersaw called Prophet with 5 says, "From this day forward, Jacob shall be known as Lord Jacob." That means Jacob can do whatever he wants to do, and he can say whatever he wants to do. Hell yeah, dude. Any 4stan stories for the future? 4chan? No, unfortunately. Just because those started to not perform very well, and it kind of put me in a position where I didn't look forward to recording them, because every time I did it seemed like they were holding the channel back, you know what I mean? 4stan. We got 4 stands here. Writing letters to Eminem. You gotta lose the birds at the chirping at the end of your vids gives me anxiety. Reminds me of when you're up way too late and you hear the birds in the morning. Yeah, it was kind of like the intention was it was the symbolic nature of you made it through the darkness of the night and now the morning, you know. Because it was based, actually taken from Evil Dead, the original movie, because the girl at the end, she survives, right? And then the sun comes up and the birds are chirping, and it's literally just like she walks out of the forest, and that's the happy ending. And I was like, wow, I haven't seen a happy ending in a horror movie ever. And I was like, I kind of want to add that into mine. But I do know that some people have said that the birds chirping kind of conditions them to wake up or whatever. And then they got to put on another video. But it's weird. Somebody was straight up fucking it was so annoying. I mean, it's not a big deal, but they were constantly trying to DM me, and then they made a post on the subreddit, asking people and bothering me if I still did the fucking press the join button. Press the join button for bonus content. And then they were like, I loved your stuff, but that just absolutely killed it for me. And then I did, I have been taking it out of the videos, and it's so stupid to think one person can really kind of throw off your vibe so much. But I mean, I guess it wasn't really like super conducive to getting new members because I get most of them through here on the live streams and that kind of thing, with the join button. But does it really, like, it's literally like it's 5 seconds. It's legitimately like 5 seconds, about the length of like the transitionary noise, which, you know, you would think the story ending would be what takes you out of a story. It's not like I do it in the middle of a story. I don't know. I just didn't think it was really all that big a deal. But like they said, they couldn't listen to any of my videos because of that, and it's like, that's incredibly hyper specific. Also, Shannon, thank you for the big 20 buccarinos. Says, absolutely love your content. Thank you, Shannon. Appreciate you. Yeah, try a chicken sound instead. We'll do that. We'll just add like a bunch of bukkaks. But thank you, Shannon. Again, appreciate you. Keep the birds and please add the in-between stories sound to live streams. You can do it. Yeah, I do have to do that at some point here. I can just press the little button and go. Rawr. It does sound like a them problem. That's the weird thing. But it's so weird. There's so many people on Earth who, like, they have a very blatant them problem, but they bring it to you as if though, like, it's your responsibility to make them have a perfect life, you know? And then they're just like so over dramatic, like everything's ruined because there's 8 seconds at the most within a video that's fucking 1 hour long. That's not even that disturbing. It's just like, it's still my voice going like hibbity dibbity bobbity boobity boo, you know? I don't know, whatever. And I think they were saying like, you know, like as if though it was like cringe on my end for like asking people to support the channel via the join button. It's like, I don't think so. It's not like I'm begging. I'm just, it's part of the routine. I'm your night nurse. Hell yeah. Let me get you some Dilaudid. Keep you quiet. Just kidding. Fix all my problems, I command you. No, yeah, I don't know. I respond so much more. And I think people realize this for really any circumstance in life, is that people respond to like negative shit so much more than like positive stuff. So like when, you know, like a show can be on TV with like 1 million concurrent viewers at a time, right? And which, that's a lot of people. But then there'll be like 3 people on fucking Twitter, literally 3, maybe like 15 at the most, and they could be bot accounts, you know, who bitch about the show or say it's stupid or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like then, you know, the company feels pressure from the advertisers or something abstract, you know, that completely changes everything. But it just feels so disingenuous because it's just not reality, you know? And I don't understand why the fuck, like... And maybe I guess I'm prone to it too. Maybe I should have just stuck to my guns. I don't know. Because I guess I also kind of thought to myself, well, I technically don't really gain any bonus content, you know, members through really anything other than live streams, so whatever. People are just that miserable. They really are. People are very, very miserable online. It's kind of sad. I wanted to like make a meme or something where it's like what the CIA wants you to think is outside, and it's just like chaos and explosions and people fighting, and like then it's like what's actually happening outside, and it's like just people going like, hey neighbor. Buttersock Cult Prophet with the 10 says, Jacob has been moved to the highest rank in the Buttersock Cult besides being a moderator, but as a cult lord, Jacob has the authority to say and do what he wants to do. My decision is final. Okay. Another rogue AI. Who's rogue? Who's going rogue? Oh no, mods are blue. You never been on Twitter and hopefully never will. There's really no reason to. Like lately, the only reason I've been on there I mean, aside for just promoting my normal stuff or saying something stupid, is I was able to connect with another creator who's helping me do a new profile picture and a new banner and stuff, you know. But for the most part, like, there's just nothing of value, you know. Because like Reddit has a lot of annoying people on there as well, but I feel like it's at least organized, so you can like still find a piece of information or a post that's of quality value within the specific niche you're looking for, that's upvoted to a certain degree, and then you can enjoy it. And sure, there might be some like annoying people or bad eggs down in the comments and stuff, but you know, but there's something about like Twitter where it's just chaotic. There's no organization to it. There's like there's just people typing in capitals. That's all it is. And for some reason, even though it's just text on a screen that they like, you know, by the time you see it, they've already forgotten and they're taking like a shit in the bathroom and eating a bowl of cereal at the same time. Like, so it's just completely erroneous to them. They just, you know, spit it out and there it is. But like, for some reason you can like still hear their screeching and, you know, bouncing around in your fucking skull, and it holds some sort of strange abstract weight, when in reality it's just yelling into a void, you know. Even if you were to get like fucking 50,000 retweets on one of your dumb ideas, like, it doesn't matter, because someone's going to get 50,000 retweets tomorrow and theirs doesn't matter, and it just repeat the cycle. The whole point of it is just to like, is that marketing people know that you enjoy arguing. They know you enjoy arguing. They know psychologically that you like to be a little bit scared, a little bit annoyed, a little bit frustrated. And this is just like your teapot kettle that you can let off your steam. You know, that's the sound of a teapot. I don't know. It's whatever. Yeah, because like at least with Instagram, you can look at memes all day, you know? That's so much more valuable than like somebody's opinion to me, you know? And that's the dumb thing too, is everybody's got like a blue check mark. So you can see somebody commenting on stuff and you just kind of like, you know, you used to see a blue check mark and you kind of be like, oh, this person's important. Why are they important? Maybe I can click their profile and see their followers and see if what value they hold within this pointless realm. But no, now everybody has that same exact, you know, indication of pointless value. What about iFunny? I didn't even know iFunny still existed, but that's cool though. Am I stalking you? No, I don't really like to look at people's profiles. Buttersock, call profit with a 10. But I do enjoy once in a while, like if I see a follower or something, you click on it. I don't know why, it just like makes me laugh a little bit. Not in like a bad way that you should feel bad, but just in a way that it makes me personally giggle. Is whenever I see people like tweet things that's maybe pretty serious, or just like they just tweet things and it gets 0 likes from anybody, you know? So and like not even like, and you can see the views on it, there's like not even like, there's maybe a view or two and it came from you looking at it. And I don't know, something about that is just really funny to me, to think that like someone took the time to write in their diary online, but nobody's even bothered to check it out. Buttersock called profit with the 10 says, of Jacob is a baby face, or in wrestling terms, a baby face is a good guy. But there are some rumors in the cult that Jacob will turn on an Evolution member and kick them out and turn heel once again. I did hear those rumors, Buttersock called profit. And Dina, welcome to the Buttersock cult. You now have access to bonus content. Thank you, Dina. Been dealing with alternator issues today. Are you reading my mind, Joel? I might be. Alternators are annoying. I remember that I had issues. I used to have a Maxima my parents gave me when I was younger. I used that for many years, and the alternator went on it. And I always found it fascinating that this like little piece of machinery charges your battery while you go. But I guess it all does run on fossil fuels as well. Likes really aren't that important if you're just the average person that isn't creating content. No, for sure it's not. I just find it funny because it's like I couldn't imagine myself like having a Twitter account if I wasn't like forced, to exist on that platform. Are you into cycling? Do you like bike riding? I do like bike riding. I need to get my bike ready for the spring just because it's probably tires are all dead and a little bit of a tune-up. Would you work with Axeman cartoons again? I think he's trying to animate again. Yeah, for sure. I'm always down. I love PETA. PETA. Buttersock called Prophet with the two says those rumors are just starting. Okay, good. Your RAV4 is dying. I'm surprised it hasn't thrown a rod. That's why I had to get a new car and will be poor. Oh, okay. I wonder what year it is. Let's read X Mr. Nightmare. What would ever happen? That would be cool. I don't know. I've reached out to, I probably reached out to Mr. Nightmare like back in when I had like 500,000 subscribers, and I think I've reached out on Twitter, Instagram, probably email, but that was a while ago, you know what I mean? But honestly, when you do it that much and you don't get like a response, it's kind of just like you don't want to bother people, you know what I mean? You don't want to come off as like some crazy desperado, some sort of cringe lord or whatever who's like, please give me all your subscribers and views, that would be so sick, which would be sick. But I don't know, you just don't want to bug people because I'm doing all right how I am, Anyways. When I was in my mid-20s, I had a job that I enjoyed quite a bit, and it honestly paid decently. Basically, without getting into details, I would drive all over the state delivering medications to people that couldn't otherwise pick them up from a pharmacy for one reason or another. The work aspect of the job was straightforward, if not a little boring. It was the driving part of the job that I loved. I'm someone who absolutely adores podcasts of all type, and because my day was spent mostly driving, I would just devour hours of content. Some may find that boring, but for me, that was like a dream job. One day I had to make a delivery that was in the middle of nowhere. I mean, quite literally, there was nothing nearby. I passed by a small handful of farms, and that was pretty much it. The closest town was probably 30 minutes away at least. I eventually pulled up to this shack that was barely eligible to be considered even a home, I would say. It was honestly sad, but the guy didn't seem to care too much. I dropped off his medication and started my long journey back to civilization. My next drop was over an hour from this location, so I knew that I was going to get a nice chunk of podcast in. The first hiccup came when I was leaving the man's house. I had no service at all, so I couldn't put the new address into my GPS, and worst of all, I couldn't listen to anything. I looked... Oops. Buttersock called Prophet. With a 5 says some person in the chat are saying, I'm Jacob. This is a false statement. I'm just a prophet in the cult that Jacob had handpicked when he formed Evolution. Okay, good. We can clear that up. It was a chunk of a podcast. Alright, phew. I was worried. I was like, this can't... Like, Jacob? Jacob having multiple accounts? Donating on separate accounts? Like, no, these are... What are you guys talking about? What the fuck are you guys fucking talking about? How absolutely dare you? Just kidding. Alright, anyways, it's a rogue AI. That would be sick. I hope we get some rogue AI shit going here soon. So I couldn't put the new... Oh, yeah. I had no service at all. So I couldn't put the new address into my GPS, and worst of all, I couldn't load any podcasts. I looked at the route that morning before I started my trip, and I believed that I had a general idea of where to go, just I wasn't confident. I started in the direction that I thought was the correct way and hoped for the best. While driving, I enjoyed the sunshine cooking me through the windshield. Every few minutes I would check my phone to see if any service came back, but it was still no use, unfortunately. And then came hiccup number 2. While I was driving down a long, empty road of nothing, I must have hit something on the road because I slightly lost control for a brief second, and I knew right away what had happened. Ellen, with a huge, twerkable 50 buckarino, says, "Hey Joel, love you and your videos. Keep it up." Thank you, Ellen. Thank you. Appreciate you. You got my blubber flapping in the wind with that one. Making it clap. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Sometimes I twerk so fast, speed faster than the speed of sound. And you gotta wait for the claps to catch up. But thank you, Ellen. Hands on your knees, hands on your knees. That's actually the move that I do. I had a flat tire, which was just perfect. I got out to change the tire, and of course, hiccup number 3 came. There was no spare tire in the trunk. And at this point, I was feeling like crap. I had no idea where I was, no service on my phone, and now I had a flat tire on the side of the road. The only silver lining here was that it was... Oh shit, what the fuck? Holy crap, that one. Sometimes you don't even feel it, you twerk so quick, it's just like sort of a vibratory sensation, and then all of a sudden, there it is, it catches up. Shannon! Goodness gracious, guys, you're going ham jam. Shannon with the big 60! That's a double twerk amount right there. This is for everyone who wants to donate but can't. Oh, thank you, Shannon, I appreciate you. Appreciate you both, guys. Thank you so much for the huge support there. My goodness. Thank you. Joel, what's your most nostalgic tint of childhood video game? Oh, tiny childhood video game. Tiny? A little tiny kid? A little tiny boy? Well, I was always quite large. No, I guess for me, it was definitely like Mario on the N64, for sure. It's like when I kind of like started getting a little bit sentient playing games. Even though I did have a Sega, what the hell is it? Sega Genesis that I had gotten previous to that. I just really had no concept on how to like play the games, but Mario was at the age of maybe 7 or so was about when I knew kind of like what to do. But even that, I was relatively clueless. Like I don't know why it took me so long to just like learn video games till like 7, but I guess nobody really like sat down and just showed me. And I was always kind of like scared of them for some reason. Like just the challenge of like going deep into it always just seemed like more mysterious in my head for some odd reason. Especially like the levels in Mario that were like horror related, like going in a haunted house. I just like refused to do it. I just like couldn't handle that fucking piano that was like also had teeth coming at you. That shit messed me up. Or just the tension that you felt whenever those boos would slowly float at you to get you, and then you look at them and then they cover their face. And I remember like I would just spend a countless amount of hours just messing with the characters' movements on like the most simple shit, like going into... There was some place in the castle of Mario 64 where there was like a fountain or some sort of open courtyard that was further into the castle, but like I would just go in there and like I just specifically remember like practicing like the running and then going back and doing like a side flip. You know how like you do like run, turn back and do like a really high jump side flip? For some reason that just brought me great pleasure. And that game really did redefine just gaming in general as far as like precision movement with an analog stick and all that kind of stuff. It was pretty dang impressive. So no Luigi's Mansion. Well, Luigi's Mansion came quite some time after in the GameCube days. Yeah, N64, Marmio. Any teasers of a birthday stream? Oh, like a little trailer that I can release? Yeah, perhaps. Maybe I'll do it like a week before, you know, on a Monday or something on social media just to let everyone know, and before a video, like, hey, come join us. Yeah, Turok. Turok was on the N64, and I was terrified of Turok. Even though I was like, even if you go back to Turok, the original, there was something about it that's like really impressive with its animations. It was almost as if though like the N64 was like playing animations that were like at 60 frames per second, like before anything else was done. I don't know. There was something that I just specifically remember. Maybe just because it was like mocap, one of the first games to do mocap back then, but it was pretty good. My birthday soon. Yeah, my birthday would be June 4th, but usually every year we do a fun little stream to celebrate that. Road Rash, yeah, Road Rash was great. Oh my god, I love that. I love just pegging people, shoving your peg in their spokes, and just flipping them. I remember there was always like a sort of memory that I had of you rent a game and then you see there's like, you know, in a lot of like Nintendo games you could save within the cartridge, and then you would see like the files that the people would have before, and then you end up like playing their files and seeing how far they've gotten and stuff, and usually loading up in an area in a game that you've never otherwise been to, and it always seemed very fun and mysterious. The Stanley Parable? Yeah, Stanley Parable was great. I love those type of games, just those like smart type of writing, you know, very Portal-esque. The only silver lining here was that it was beautiful outside. Something about the thought of being stranded on the side of the road in the middle of the night seemed scary, but this seemed peaceful, being stranded on such a beautiful day. I sat on the side of the road for a while, tried to figure out what to do. I didn't know if I should walk until I saw a farm or a town, and the problem is, if I walked, I would have to leave the vehicle and had a lot of sensitive material in the car. I thought about maybe just sitting there until maybe someone would drive by that I could eventually go get help, but that seemed unlikely since I saw maybe 2 cars since I got to this area. I wrestled with the idea for a while, and then a small miracle happened, or at least at the moment I considered it a miracle. A car drove by, and when he saw me on the side of the road, he pulled over. There was a bigger man who got out of the car and started making his way over to my vehicle, and in a soft but very deep voice, the man said, "Looks like you could use a hand." I explained the situation about not having a spare or any cell phone service, and the man just chuckled and said, "Yeah, phones don't really work around here. If you want, I can give you a lift to my place and you can call someone. It's only a few more minutes up the road." Now, ordinarily, I would never agree to do something like that, but at this point, I was honestly desperate. I locked up my car tight and decided to leave everything in the car, figuring that it would be safe for a little while I was gone. I agreed, and I got into this random, kind gentleman's car. And the first thing I noticed was the horrific smell. It smelled like the man hadn't showered in 50 years. The car itself was also filthy. Trash and cans lined the floor of the car. As the man started driving, I looked down and noticed the cans at my feet were beer cans, which didn't make me feel safe. I just kept telling myself that this man was helping me and I needed to be nice. A few minutes later, Poops. Anyone feel like horror games aren't scary anymore, or just me? Yeah, I guess it's just like after seeing you probably played all of them, you know what I mean? I definitely think horror games for me are more terrifying than movies, but I guess just because that's you're like involved in it. The one interesting thing about virtual reality, if you get a VR headset or something along that nature, is that even like the shittiest, stupidest horror games you could ever imagine, when you're in VR doing it with like the depth perception and like the, I don't know, just level of immersion that comes with that, it definitely adds to the horror quite a bit. So if you're looking for like that next step in horror, you probably want to play a VR game if you can afford it, or, you know, find some way to play it. A few minutes later, we pulled up to a barn that looked like it was falling apart. It had a silo, at least I think that's what they're called, those big cylinder things that barns have, and the silo had a giant hole in it. The barn itself was falling over. The roof looked partially caved in, but the most glaring thing I noticed was that there was no farmhouse at all. It was just this old barn. Before I could say anything, the man said, "Phone's just inside there, son. Make your call, and I'll take you back." I opened the door and took a few steps towards the barn. I'm not sure what was running through my head at that moment that had caused me to believe that this barn had a phone. Maybe it was leaving that rundown shack at my last stop, or maybe I was just an idiot. But either way, I started to slowly make my way to the barn. When I was a few steps away from the car, I turned around and the man looked like he was sneaking out of the car, but his eyes seemed to be just oddly fixated on me. When I turned and looked, he sort of had this deer in the headlights look, but he stopped moving for a moment, and he just uttered these words. "It's just inside the barn. Just over there on the left." I slowly started to turn my head back towards the barn, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw that the man was reaching into his glove box. I looked forward at the barn, and I was close enough now to see that the inside of the barn was just completely empty, abandoned. My instincts kicked in, and I realized that something bad may be about to happen. Without thinking, I just decided to run. As I took off, I looked behind me, and the man was inches from where I was just standing. He had a large, blunt object in his hand that I think was some sort of pipe, but I couldn't be sure. I just kept running, trying to keep my distance from the road, my heart about to explode. Thankfully, it was so sunny that I could actually see where I was going, and I finally ran far enough that I got service on my cell phone. I was able to call the cops and try to explain to them where I was, and I tried to give them a brief description of the man and his car and everything that was happening. I didn't think it was a good idea, but the police told me to carefully make my way back to my car, which I did reluctantly. I was able to get there, and the police were already there, but thankfully the man wasn't. I gave my statement and told them exactly where the man took me. Unfortunately, the man's car or description didn't match any of the folks that lived in the nearby areas, and they seemed to be pretty familiar with everyone. We got my car towed, and the day ended at that moment. As far as I know, the police never found this man, but honestly, it seemed like they didn't care too much about what I was... As far as I know, the police never found this man, and honestly, it seemed like they didn't care too much when I was giving my statement. Thankfully, I'm sitting here today. God damn it. He had a large blunt, yeah. Is that what I said? Did I not say blunt object? Shannon, thank you for the 10. Honestly, just love watching the spaceman dance. He certainly does break it down, doesn't he? Thank you. Okay, I did say blunt object. He had a huge roll. Thankfully, I'm sitting here today able to... Wait, is that where I stopped? As far as I know, the police never found this man, but honestly, it seemed like they didn't care too much when I was giving my statement. Thankfully, I'm sitting here today able to... Thankfully, I'm sitting here today able to tell this story, but if I didn't run when I decided to run, I could have found myself in a very much different situation. Every time I drive by a barn now, I'm reminded of that horrible afternoon. It just goes to show sometimes monsters don't always hide in the shadows of night and can lurk even on... It just goes to show sometimes monsters don't always hide in the shadows of night and can lurk even on the brightest of sunny days. I kind of got that feeling the other day. I was walking with my mom this past weekend, or not weekend, Jesus, all my days mixed together. It was a couple days ago, but we were in this like trail, and I don't know why there was like this younger guy who was ahead of us, and he was like crouched down, sort of like rummaging through his bag, and there was just this sort of like vibe of it. I said hi to him as we passed, but he was like, hey, but it was just like sort of like that Zodiac killer vibe in my head, where I was just thinking, like, this guy's just going to pull out a gun, shoot both of us in the stupid fucking forest, and then probably do something to my butt. I don't know. Thankfully, that didn't happen. At least it didn't happen in this timeline, maybe another timeline. Maybe it did happen, and I'm just... Maybe when you die, your brain gets to, like, experience the rest of life very quickly in its head. The FBI just announced they know who the Zodiac Killer was. Sounds like they're full of shit. If Reddit couldn't figure it out, I doubt they could. Pull out my pocket sand. I should have. You should always have like a concealed pocket sand ready to go. It was Ted Cruz, yeah, probably. Yeah, I am the ghost. That would be kind of funny if... I always thought about that, like you're some sort of science fiction story where you're interacting with a ghost, but the ghost is from... I don't know, it's just you from a different timeline or future or something. Well, I guess they kind of did that in, what the fuck was it? Not Inception. What's that other stupid Christopher Nolan movie? The one with space. Interstellar. So I just want to say that some people really do suck. I know that may seem like a horrible way to start a story, but it's true, and you'll see what I mean. A few years ago, my wife and I decided to take a road trip for our anniversary to see the Grand Canyon. We lived about 10 hours away, but neither one of us had ever gotten into a car and drove up to see it. And this became the destination for our first wedding anniversary, so we could check that off our bucket list. The trip started great. We stopped at some diners and shops along the way. When we arrived, we started hiking and exploring. I'll say this, we are about as beginner as it gets when it comes to hiking, so when I say we went hiking, it was more like walking around with style. My wife was able to find a campsite online where we were allowed to sleep in the back of my truck under the stars. The word campsite sometimes implies that a lot of people will be surrounding you, but there wasn't anybody even close to us. And the night was beautiful, romantic, and I would dare say perfect up until this point. We were laying there together, staring at the beautiful night sky. At this point, I didn't even have any idea what time it was. I knew that it was late, but it really didn't matter. I was just happy being with my girl. After a while of talking, I could tell that she was about to pass out soon. Her voice started to get hoarse, and she started to nestle into my chest harder. Eventually, she fell asleep, and of course, I wasn't tired at all. Trying not to wake her up, I reached blindly into my bag to find my phone. I decided that I was going to watch something on my phone until I got tired enough to fall asleep. Before I could even get anything set up to play on my phone, I hear the sounds of shushing. I figured that I could have been hearing things since being outdoors overnight isn't something I'm accustomed to. I stayed quiet for a little bit, trying to listen to the eerie quietness of the surrounding area, and just as I was about to move on from my paranoia, I heard what sounded like movement on the outside of my truck. I was trying to quietly search for my bag for a pocket knife that I knew was in there from work, but I was struggling to remain quiet as I did so. I finally got the knife and I sat, waiting for someone or some animal or something to show itself. I sat quietly for a few minutes and then I heard the light sound of the wind blowing. After a minute or two, I realized what the sound was, and it wasn't wind. It was the sound of air leaving my tires. Someone cut his tires. What the fuck? Have you named your ghost yet? Don't name it. You'll get attached and then when you exercise it, you'll get sad. Yeah, I'd rather not be friends with it. You get a burger, ketchup, and pickle, and that's it? On your Boyga King? What's up, Jamie? Tell you how many stories we're doing. Well, this is story, I think, 3 of 7? 11? I'm sleepy, baby. Did I yawn? I didn't even hear myself yawn. Any update on the stalker email? No. I don't know. I think it might, looking back on it, it's like it might just be a troll because it was, I don't know. It was written well, which was creepy, but it was like almost motivating to be like, oh, we could put this in a video, you know? But I don't know. I've been fortunate that I haven't had too many crazy people say stuff as of late. But I'm always strapped, and I'm always ready. Head on a swivel. Stay frosty. I got up and got out of the truck, and my tires were nearly flat. Before I could even react, someone came from the front of the truck, tackling me to the ground. I think I took 2 punches to the head that honestly had me spinning a little bit. As I lay on the ground, dazed and confused, I noticed the man got up to the back of the truck. I tried to get up pretty fast, but my body felt like jello, and I heard my wife scream, and the man just kept saying, "Stop screaming, relax, it's okay, it's okay." But once I heard her screaming, the adrenaline gave me the strength to get to my feet. I rushed over to the guy and pushed him down. I couldn't believe my eyes. I knew exactly who this piece of garbage was. I'm not even kidding. It was my wife's ex-boyfriend, back from high school. That's right, I said it. High school. They were together 10 years ago, for like 6 months, and this guy has been so obsessed with her ever since. I've had some unfortunate incidents with this guy, but nothing like she was gone. Oops. I've had some unfortunate incidents with this guy, but nothing like what she's gone through. She has blocked him countless times. She's called the police on him and has even had him arrested a couple of times. This jerk even tried to break up our wedding, and I kind of had a feeling that that was going to happen, so I had one of my friends be a bouncer, and to nobody's surprise, he tried to get in. Since our wedding day, though, we had no incidents with him, and I'm not sure why we thought this, but we thought that maybe finally. Since our wedding day, though, we've had no incidents with him. I'm not sure why we thought this, but we thought that maybe he finally moved on. So I stared at this guy laying on the ground and I told him to get out of there. Wait. Stared at this guy laying on the ground? Why was he on the ground? I thought the main character's on the ground. The main guy, the person who sent the story in. Unless, I guess we can keep reading, but it just sounded really strange. I couldn't believe I was exactly... Wait, once I heard the scream, I rushed over to the guy and pushed him down. Oh, okay, there we go. I was like, no way. I was still in the perspective that he was like laying. They're both on the ground. They're kissing and farting. So I stared at the guy laying on the ground, and I told him to get out of there. Get out of there, right? Get out of there. So I stared at this guy laying on the ground, and I told him to get out of here right now, as I held up my little pocket knife, pointed directly at him. It didn't occur to me until afterward that this guy definitely had a knife on him since he slashed my tires, but he never actually presented it during the entire ordeal. As I held up my knife, trying to look as intimidating as possible, my wife was already on the phone with the cops. I guess I shouldn't be surprised anymore, but he didn't leave. He didn't care. He just kept saying, "We can get out of here now, come on!" At this point, I was terrified. This guy is absolutely nuts, and given our location, I had no idea how long it would take for police or park rangers to get there. My wife just kept screaming for him to get out of there. As soon as I was in front of the truck... Wait, what? Kieran, what's up? Farting in the bathtub, having a good old time. Waiting for the bubbles to reach my nose. The last words he would hear from me, yeah. Sha-sha-sha. Sha-sha-sha, pocket sand, but it's also acid and little diamonds that cut your eyeballs. My wife just kept screaming for him to get out of there. As I stood in front of the truck, just waiting for this guy to charge me again, I felt dizzy but still held my ground. He would walk away, then come back and shout the same things that he'd been yelling about the entire time. He just kept pacing, and I didn't want to move and potentially make things worse. To my surprise, the authorities were able to show up in less than 15 minutes, and let me tell you, those 15 minutes may well have been 15 hours in my mind. They arrested him, and he screamed obscenities the entire time. Obviously, at this point we pressed charges, and this time, he got more than just a slap on the wrist finally. That was the last time my wife and I went camping, though, and it probably will remain the last time. It's been years since that ordeal, and we've never had another incident with this guy. It took all those years, but she was finally able to get a restraining order on this creep. He was somehow able to avoid serious legal trouble all those past years, and that was a real eye-opener for me. This man was clearly dangerous and had a warped perspective of reality. This guy was clearly dangerous and had a warped perspective of reality. Either one of us could have been seriously hurt, but thankfully we made it out with no damage, other than some mental scars and 4 deflated tires. I won't lie. Every day I'm still on high alert. I won't lie. Every day I'm still on high alert because you just never know. He might come back, and if he does, this time, I'll be ready. Tales from the Riz, Volume 8. He's got so much game, he lives on the Riz. The reservation. The man in the red car, or How early is too early to start advertising Father's Day stuff? Because I was thinking about, because I have a Father's Day ad for Ridge Wallet. Ridge. It's a Dad got a Ridge this year. He got ridged chips. He's the Rizzler, and he lives on the reservation. Yeah, maybe Monday. May 15th would probably be too early, so... And it's not that anymore, so... I'll probably just do it on Monday. Still not married. Are you married, Dan? You gonna share your wife with all of us? What's the deal? Today is too early. You saw a Father's Day ad a week before Mother's Day? That's funny. Yeah, I guess it is a little out of place. I don't know. They should just put them on the same day. She is unshareable. I don't know about that. She's taken? Oh my gosh. Have I watched Game of Thrones? I watched about 2 seasons of Game of Thrones back in college when it was, just coming out on TV. And we got to the 3rd season, graduated college, and then, I was trying to watch it with some friends, and I just got really bored with all the politics within it. In the sense of, like, the actual politics, not like their personal politics and the writer, but just the show itself. Jackie Chan, you got it. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, it's one of my favorite Tim lines. Ridged chips. I don't know why. It's just so fucking weird, but it's funny. You started House of Dragon? Yeah, I haven't watched that though. Kind of rude to ask someone to share somebody's wife, don't you think? Well, you asked me if I was married, so I mean, I don't have many options here. Sometimes you just have to be a helpful neighbor. Chubby Teletubby, welcome back for half a year. We're in our 2nd trimester. Let's go. I thought school was over. No, I'm just kidding. But congratulations, Teletubby. I'm excited for you. You're getting close. My mom said if I clean my whole room tomorrow, I can donate $1 to the next stream. Hell yeah, dude. Earn it. Make that room spick and span. Have you ever watched Everybody Hates Chris? I've seen some clips, but it was one of those shows. There were so many shows growing up that, like, I saw them, like, advertised on TV, but I just, like, missed them, But there were so many that are, like, so good that you just didn't realize at the time that they were good. Especially, I mean, because you kind of just always assume shows are going to get better as time goes on, but I think we're in a weird sort of, like, social paradigm right now where it's really difficult to, like, make a show that's funny anymore. I mean, there's some. Like, I'm really excited for I Think You Should Leave. It comes out the 30th. I did watch a lot of Malcolm in the Middle growing up, though. For a long time, my family and I have made a big difference in my small community. My grandpa opened and owned his own car repair shop, which he passed on to my father, who ran the shop for 50 years. And now, at 35 years old, my father handed me the keys to run the shop, so to speak. I love cars and being able to solve the issues that come up, but honestly, I enjoy being able to help the people in the area. I don't know this for a fact, but by judging by. Yeah, The Office. You can't go wrong with The Office. That's one of those shows you can just watch over and over again and put it on repeat. I don't know, there's so much about, like, their mannerisms as actors and stuff that you just, like, want to emulate, Sonic or Mario? I would say overall Mario has been a better series for sure. Sonic to me has the possibility, like, it definitely has the possibility to be really good. But it just seems like anybody you put, like into the hand. Because think about it, like Sonic is a fast-paced, highly mobile platforming game, right? That's like just, that spells amazing, you know what I mean, to most video gamers. Move around really fast, you know, just high mobility, sick ass shit. Oh, you mean the movie? I didn't watch the Sonic movie, but the Mario movie was good. But there's just a lot of opportunity there, you know? And I don't know what the fuck it is. But like, it just seems as if though like Sonic is just cursed. External from like its side-scrolling, you know, versions of the game. Anybody who makes like 3-dimensional versions. I mean, I guess Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, you know, pulled me in, but I remember playing those when I was a kid and they were janky as fuck as well, you know? But in my mind, I'm like, just step away, you know, as a game developer, step away from that feeling that you had with Sonic Adventure and stuff. Like, sure, that was successful, but just reimagine it. Reimagine the fluidity, the feeling of moving fast, whatever it is, but just reimagine it. And I'm sure there's probably so many game devs out there who could show proof of concept that they could make a really solid Sonic game, and whoever the fuck owns it, you know. Oh, Jesus, Pradeep moved on the chair and scared the shit out of me. I don't know. It is what it is, but I guess we're just never gonna get a good Sonic game. What's that one kid? Remember the Sonic kid where he's like, ah! Screaming about Sonic on YouTube. Miss Molly, welcome back for 41 months, says Joel, my love. How are you doing tonight? I'm doing pretty well. Just tired as hell. I'm playing games. Nothing much to report, but I love you. Love you too, Miss Molly. What games do you be playing? And I'm doing well. I'm just cruising. Super Mario World and Super Nintendo all-time classic. It really is. Some good ass shit. Most of the games are doo-doo. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I will be honest, I haven't touched Overwatch in a good amount of time now. I don't plan on going back. I still sometimes watch like streamers play it just while I'm eating food or some shit, cause fuck it, you know. And it kind of, you know, get that kind of inkling feeling. You're like, oh, I want to go shoot someone in the head, you know, in Overwatch. But then you realize, like, the amount of anger that you feel. You realize you're not ever going to be as good as those guys. You just aren't, you know. Just not built into you. I guess you could put thousands of hours into it and waste your life, but it is what it is. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, probably play something like Diablo. But I think even with Diablo, I'm going to wait for a while before it, to see the reviews and stuff. But I definitely think I would give it a whirl. I'm going to watch any spooky videos tonight. Are we tucking in early? It's hard to say, just because with people working on my place, they get here at the, literally, like, at the crack of 8:30, 9 a.m., so it's already almost midnight and we're only like halfway through. I definitely want to get back into it after they get all done with that kind of stuff. Have you thought about 0 Hour? What's that about? Diablo means devil. Diablo, we've talked about this, guys. Diablo means extra spicy sauce. Need some Warframe buddies. For some reason, every time I played Warframe, I found myself out in like an open field and just get attacked by a bunch of robots. I don't quite know why. I haven't really like progressed in the game naturally at all. Sonic Frontiers was pretty good, but the Sonic game in a long time, a banger soundtrack. Oh, really? Okay. That's the newer one, right? I was curious how it was. I feel like I had all this hype around it and kind of like disappointment prior to it coming out, and then actually let's check. I kind of want to check Metacritic.com just to see. Oh yeah. Well, that's not terrible. User score of 8.2. They must have had some decent updates. It's on PC, PlayStation 4, 5, Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. Well, maybe I'll give it a whirl. Maybe I'm just full of shite. You stick to the card games. See, I respect that, you know what I mean? Like, I'll play Hearthstone Battlegrounds from time to time to kind of get back into it. And then I'll stop caring instantaneously when I realize that it's just... I don't know. I feel like single-player games are really the only way to go anymore if you just want to have a time where it's just you enjoying a video game, you know? Back to the origins of it. Did you ever play DMZ? No, what's that? I don't know if I don't know this for a fact, but judging by stories that I see online, it just seems like a lot of mechanics out there try and take advantage of their clients to make a few extra bucks, but not me. Most of my customers are the locals that live in the area or nearby. Often we get customers from nearby areas just because of our reputation. In a time where many people are struggling financially, it benefits to save a few bucks here or there. Occasionally we'll get a customer who is traveling through. My hometown isn't far off an exit that pretty much is in the middle of nowhere, if I'm being honest. At least a couple of times a month we'll get someone on a cross-country trip or something like that that ends up having a flat tire or engine trouble. I would say that 99% of the time these folks are friendly and go about their business when finished. On a rare occasion, we'll get someone who is just horrible. Several months ago, I probably had the worst customer in all my time doing this job. This customer wasn't just bad, she was borderline evil. The day started like any other day, slow for the most part other than an oil change, and around noon a beautiful woman came strolling in. She was driving a white Volkswagen. Rochambeau, only good game. Cards Against Humanity. Cards Against Humanity is the best, honestly. There's just like no pressure. It's mainly just down to like your creativity and like making people laugh. And that to me is just a good time. Cat's Alley Art Studio. Welcome back for 13 months. Says, hi Joel, how you doing today? Any new rants lately? I'm just ranting my pants off every chance I get. But you'll have to get me on something. Just ask me about something and you'll send me flying. Absolutely flying. DMZ is the only mode play on COD. Okay, right. I remember that now. Warzone. Yeah, I'll watch Dr. Disrespect play COD a little bit. But I usually only watch for like 15-20 minutes or something because I don't really like, Call of Duty that much, but I'll watch him play it just to see his feelings and thoughts and whatever, and entertainment, all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, just not very satisfying to me, those types of shooters, because they really just like have not changed in a long time. It just feels very the same, If the kills in that game were like a lot more satisfying, if it was a lot more like visceral, kind of like Insurgency, if you've ever played Insurgency, I probably would play it, but it is what it is. She was driving a white Volkswagen. How about RuneScape? My one friend was obsessed with it. Well, he's still obsessed with RuneScape. He's like 99 on everything. But I just never got. I feel like it's one of those games you had to play when you were in middle school and just like forever keep playing from that point, Volkswagen. She was driving a white Volkswagen, and I knew right away that she was from out of town. People in my town didn't look like this woman. I don't mean that as an insult to this woman or the people of my town, it's just the way she was dressed. The makeup she had on, even the way she talked was nothing like the people here. And if that wasn't a dead giveaway, the Vermont... Man. Yeah. And if that wasn't a dead giveaway, the Vermont license plate was. considering that it's almost a day's drive from here. The woman jumped out of her car erratically and started claiming that she needed her car fixed right away. I didn't like her tone, but business was slow, so I let her continue to aggressively try and explain the issue. She seemed confused and stuttered over her words a little bit. She claimed that while she was driving, the engine started to get really loud, and if she took the car over 50 miles per hour, that it would start to shake. Then, in an arrogant tone that still bothers me, she said, "You'll fix this car right now." It was like she was trying to use a Jedi mind trick or something on me, and it took everything I had to not turn her away, but against my better judgment, I took the car in. I told her that she could God, I don't know why. It's like, I almost feel like I'd rather read these in the chat BBC thing, because something about that just feels visually better in my eyes. Fuck it, let's do it. Fuck it, mate, let's fucking do it. What are we reading? Oh yeah, we're reading some car-related breakdown stories. What do you think about, what do I do for the title? True Scary Broken Down Car Stories? True Scary Car Trouble Stories? BBC, it's in the game. I told her that she could wait for a while and I would try to find the problem and let her know what she was dealing with. Not long after, I found the issue, and let's just say that it wasn't going to be an easy fix. I informed her that I couldn't fix it today, but I could have it ready by midday tomorrow. And she caused a scene, said whatever, and just stormed out of the shop. She didn't inquire about hotels, transportation, food, or anything else. She just simply left, leaving me with her car. I assumed that she wanted me to fix it, so I started working on the vehicle immediately. Since I didn't want to deal with her, I decided to work late and finish the job that night, aiming to get rid of her early the next morning, as I anticipated that she might arrive early looking to figure out what's going on. I completed the job at around 10 p.m. and felt pretty exhausted. I began cleaning up the shop and preparing to leave. It was nearly 11 p.m. when I finally was ready to turn off the lights and head home. As I grabbed my coat, I thought I heard a sound coming from the garage, resembling a tool hitting the ground. Since I'm meticulous about my tools and always put them away, I wanted to make sure that I returned anything that fell before leaving. I went back into the garage, and upon turning on the light, noticed 2 of my wrenches on the ground. I was confused because I hadn't used those wrenches at all that day, and I couldn't understand how they fell or why they would be in a location where they would fall. Feeling annoyed, I picked them up, and as I was putting the last wrench away, I heard a scream coming from the corner. I turned around and saw the same woman from earlier running toward me with a massive wrench in her hand. She swung, but I managed to raise my hands just in time to protect my head. It still hurt, believe me, but thankfully it wasn't a direct hit to my noggin. She struck me again, and then again, and by that point I was on the ground, assuming this sort of defensive position while still shielding my skull. She dealt one final blow to my ribs, and it was excruciatingly painful. I heard the wrench hit the ground, and a few seconds later, I heard her car start, and she just sped out to my parking lot. They see me rolling. Horror roadside stories. Yeah, that may be good. I heard the wrench hit the ground, and a few seconds later, her car started, and she sped out of my parking lot. It took a huge effort for me, but I managed to get back on my feet. I first called my wife, and then I called the cops. I should have called the police immediately, but I was simply relieved to be alive and that the ordeal was over, so my thinking wasn't really rational at that moment. Unfortunately, I didn't recall any license plate number that she had, and the only camera in the shop unfortunately didn't capture the license plate or provide a clear view of the woman. Therefore, all I could provide the police was a description of the woman and the make and model of her car. And what's most terrifying to me is that I have no idea why she attacked me. She was trying to bash my head in, and if I hadn't protected myself, she could have caused severe damage. It's also frightening to think that she may have been hiding around my shop that entire day. When I finished working on a car, I hung the keys behind the register. This woman must have snuck in, unnoticed, and taken the keys while I was closing up, waiting for the moment when I was most vulnerable to launch her attack. If anyone out there spots a white Volkswagen, why do I keep saying with a... If anyone out there spots a white Volkswagen Jetta and encounters a beautiful blonde woman from out of town, exercise caution, as she might be the same insane person who had tried to take my life. Roadside AAA horror stories, yes. Triple H horror stories for Jacob. Preparation Triple H. And he just like spits. He puts like the preparation H in his mouth and like spits it into your butt. How much longer is the stream? We've got 3 more stories left, so I would say probably another hour or so. In 2011, my girlfriend lived in California while she finished her last year of school. Earlier that year, I took a job in New York, so we decided to do the long-distance thing for a year. I know how hard it can be for some people, but her and I were so career-focused at the time that we weren't worried about it. I was fortunate enough in my new job to get several weeks vacation as soon as I signed on. We figured out which weeks worked best for us and planned for me to come visit accordingly. I used the first 2 weeks of the 4 weeks of vacation that I got early in the year to visit, and I flew down both times and spent the entire time just hanging out with her and spending time in her apartment checking emails and stuff whenever she had class or work. 4 months later, I used my 3rd week of vacation and flew down to see her. That flight could be Battlestar Cult Prophet with a 2 says, get this, Jacob and Hawk have never teamed up. Oh my god, can you imagine that? Jacob and Hawk absolutely tag teaming another group of oiled up men. You're crazy. That flight could be its own horrifying story. I don't like flying in general, but this flight was particularly bad. The weather was horrible, and the entire time it felt like the plane was literally going to explode. When I finally landed at LAX, which is the Los Angeles airport, I was completely rattled. I couldn't believe that I had to get back on a plane in a few days. I spent the first few days of the trip incredibly anxious. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I really don't like to fly, and this flight really messed me up. My girlfriend was getting annoyed with me and suggested that I just rent a car for the drive home. At first, I shot down the idea immediately, but then I thought about it more. I thought about how nice a cross-country road trip alone would be. Listening to some great music, catching up on some old podcasts, listening to Let's Read, really. And after some thought, I decided that I was going to do it. I called my boss and told him that I would be a day late coming back just because that drive was going to take about 2 days, and thankfully, he was cool with that plan. The rest of the trip went great. I kissed my girlfriend goodbye and started my 2-day trip. I was only about 12 hours into this trip when I realized that I should have just sucked it up and got on a plane. I was already hurting for driving and realized quickly that long-distance driving by myself just isn't for me. When I was driving through the long stretches of nothing, I found it hard to keep my eyes open. No amount of coffee or energy drinks could get me to wake up, and I found myself swerving all over the road and dozing off every few minutes. Thankfully, there was no traffic, so God, I don't know why I can't just keep my mouth fucking moving, baby. Girl Veteran, thank you for the gifter. To Jennifer Mays. Welcome, Jennifer. You now have access to bonus content. Thankfully, there was no traffic, so my reckless driving wasn't affecting anybody else. And around this time, I noticed a pull-off section of the road with a rest stop. It wasn't one of those nice ones with food and stuff. It was just a building with a restroom and probably 24 parking spots. I figured I would pull into the exit, use the bathroom, maybe shut my eyes for a few minutes and get back on the road. I didn't like this idea for many reasons. Firstly, I didn't know if it was illegal to sleep in your car at a rest stop, and I honestly still don't, but I figured it's called a rest stop for a reason, so I figured I could actually rest. Secondly, this place was creepy. There wasn't a car or any sign of life anywhere, which I guess you could argue is a good thing, but it just felt kind of off-putting for some reason. Lastly, I don't like scary movies, and I've seen enough of them to scare me for life in situations like this. But despite all of that, I decided that I was just too tired to drive. I locked my doors and set an alarm for 2 hours. It was just before 2:30 a.m. when my alarm went off. Zelda. Are you playing the new Zelda? I want to, but I haven't found my Switch and I haven't had the motivation to jump on the Zelda train yet. I wish Zelda was on PC. That would be so much more convenient. I locked my doors and said, damn, man. We're using an emulator and playing on the PC on the big screen TV. Should try it. Oh shit, that's dope. An emulator for the Switch. Interesting. What time is it? It's about 8 after midnight. I locked my doors and set an alarm for 2 hours. It was just before 2:30 a.m. when I set my alarm. Then I moved my car to the very last spot, which was next to a heavily forested area. I figured if I was far enough away from the restroom and the road, if somebody did pull into the stop, they wouldn't venture all the way down to my car. Even though I was terrified of doing this, I ended up passing out almost instantly. Not long after passing out, I thought that I could hear tapping outside my car. I didn't know if I was dreaming or if there was a bird or something outside being loud. I opened my eyes and I didn't see anything except the pitch-black darkness all around me. I looked at my phone and I still had about 40 minutes until my alarm, so I decided to close my eyes for a little while longer. Right as I closed my eyes, I could hear the tapping again, and this time I knew for sure that I wasn't dreaming. I sat up in the driver's seat and really looked at my surroundings through the window. When I turned around, I couldn't believe my eyes. The trunk of my car was open. The tapping sound I was hearing was the wind rocking the trunk back and forth. I felt sick but tried to rationalize it. I figured since I passed out with the keys in my pocket, maybe I'd accidentally hit the trunk button with my leg or something. I stared in that direction for a few moments and I saw and heard nothing. At this point, I figured my theory must be correct about the trunk button. I decided that I was going to get out and close the trunk and then just start my trip again. I slowly opened the door because I was still pretty shaken up at this point. When I started to slowly make my way out of the vehicle, I noticed that my bag, which was in the trunk, was now on the ground behind my car, and it was opened. Every instinct in my head at this moment was telling me to get into that car and drive as fast as I could. But I needed that bag. It had my work computer, my work ID badge, as well as semi-important things like my contacts for my eyes and my medications. I decided to make a run for the bag. As I picked it up, I saw someone run out of the forest. It happened so fast, it blows my mind. But this person, this figure, grabs me, and I assumed that he was trying to throw me into my own trunk, but in a moment of just absolute pure adrenaline, I pulled the keys out of my pocket and struck this random attacker on the head with the keys. This momentarily stunned individual, and momentarily stunned. Bro, I seriously can't stay up after putting the kids down and start a video. No worries. You've conditioned the mind to get some sleepies, and that is good. This momentarily stunned this man, and I was able to throw my bag in the door and just jump in my car. He had his face concealed, but by the grunt that he made when I struck him, he sounded to be about middle-aged. My heart was blasting out of my chest. I started the car, reversed out of the spot as fast as I could. As I was putting the car into drive, the attacker started running directly at my car. I started to accelerate, and as I looked up at the bathroom, 2 more people were running out and directly at my vehicle. One of these figures was fast enough to reach my car as I was driving by, punching it, leaving a giant dent in the door. I drove for hours. I drove until my gas was just about empty and finally stopped and picked... I just drove for hours. I drove until my gas was just about empty and finally stopped and filled up. And I drove straight back to New York, and then I only stopped to get gas. I never actually reported the incident because I didn't exactly know where in God's name I even was. I just knew that it was a small rest area on this highway. And that night messed me up for a while, and I still don't like driving at night in secluded areas anymore. For a long time, I would think about those attackers and what they had planned to do with me. Why were there 2 hiding in the bathroom, and why didn't they steal anything from my bag? It always got my mind going to the darkest corners, but maybe some people are just pure evil. Dude, that's a long fucking drive. Los Angeles to New York? Like, what the fuck? How long did it take them? Let's see, let's ask Chat BBC. How long does it take to drive from LA to NYC? The driving distance from Los Angeles, New York is approximately 2,790 miles. The time it takes from LA to NYC depends on various factors such as traffic. On average, a direct nonstop from LA to NYC can take around 40 to 45 hours. However, this is a rough estimate and may vary. So I assume they would... Was he on the road for that many days? I guess he didn't really talk about it, but... It's a long fucking time, dude. Karina, thank you. Good to see you. You had trouble finding your ROMs back in the day. I had to figure that out early. So is there really an emulator for the Switch already on PC and stuff? Because that's pretty baller. Don't take Benadryl in particular all the time. There's a study showing it leads to early onset decay. But yeah, I know what you mean, dementia. I don't know why. I just imagine like you were taking a Benadryl as you said that. Type to Kedge. Yo, just ask Mr. Beast. He's from North. He goes from North Carolina to Cali. Wait. He drives there? Or... My birthday? No, my birthday's not till June 4th. Your longest drive is 18 hours. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of like long ass drives. Like it really has to just like feel fun. Just barely started playing Breath of the Wild. I had to take a day or two break. That's just because of pure nirvana. Nice. Enjoying it. That's good. The Switch emulator is called Semu. That's crazy. So do you get to play that game for free then? Or did you have to buy it? Or how does that all work? Like how did they port it over to PC that quickly to be able to download? A couple of years ago, I was in between jobs and honestly just trying to find myself. To be honest, life wasn't the best during this time. I had dropped out of school and been traveling around the country a little bit doing odd jobs. I know that may sound cool, but it wasn't. I wasn't traveling around the country to see the world. I was traveling to find work and hopefully maybe find my calling along the way, as I said, but I had no friends. And honestly, I didn't care about that little bit of family that I did have. So I constantly made my way to new towns or cities. And the story I'm about to share happened shortly after moving close to a moderately sized town in northern Pennsylvania. Most of the people seemed nice, or at the very least, they kept to themselves. It was one of those older coal towns, you know. The buildings were old and almost falling apart, and you could tell from a glance that the town was the town. I gotta stop doing that. The town. And you could tell from a glance that the town was relatively poor. When I arrived, I noticed that there was a restaurant in the heart of the town that was doing a crazy amount of business. I have some experience cooking, and I figured, what the heck, I could cook again. I went inside, and they hired me almost right away. I worked for about a week, and I felt good about this situation. I know it was fast, but I could see myself settling down in this town. The only problem was that I didn't actually live in the town yet. I still lived about 40 minutes away, which isn't too bad, but when you have a car like mine, it may as well be across the country. After a couple of weeks, I decided that this town was definitely for me. I was going to look for a place to live in town, or at least close by. The hunt for a place wasn't going great, and it really sucked having to drive home at 3 a.m. when the restaurant closed. On my second Saturday, I got stuck late and didn't leave the restaurant until 3:45 in the morning. I was miserable and tired, and I just wanted to lie down and go to bed. I started my long drive home, and I tried to stay awake by blasting some 80s music. The drive wasn't a bad drive, just super long. No highways, just long stretches of nothing and farms. About halfway home, I noticed a white Mazda pulled over on the side of the road with its hazard lights on. I started to slow down, and as I passed the vehicle, I noticed a small woman standing next to the door of the car, sort of frantically waving me down. I knew that I should have just kept driving, but I've been in that situation before, and I figured that I could help. I got out of the car and slowly made my way over to the woman. She instantly jogged over and started to thank me over and over again. I asked her how I could help, and she just kept saying, her tires, her tires. I tried to get her to elaborate, like as in which tire, or is it a flat? But she didn't. Well, technically pirating it, someone has uploaded it to the emulator and they have been on top of any bugs since then, playing This Is Beautiful game for free. We are definitely buying it later. No, I don't really give a shit about pirating, even though obviously you want to support people, but I was just curious, honestly, like that's pretty wild that, I don't know, it's always amazing to me whenever there's like people who go out of their way to like fix bugs and just do all these like really technically involved side projects that aren't making them any money at all, but I don't know, it's benefiting. I mean, I guess maybe they make money from the emulator or supporting that. I have no clue. But I feel like Nintendo usually ends up going after them pretty hard to sue them or whatever it might be. Class action lawsuits, all that kind of stuff. Steam had acquired Dolphin, which is a GameCube Wii emulator. I wonder what Steam would even do with that. Maybe they could like broker a deal with that would be nuts. Broker a deal with Nintendo to put Nintendo games on PC. That would be some next level shit. I tried to get her to elaborate, like, as in which tire, or is it a flat, but she didn't seem to understand what I was saying. And that's when I finally got a good look at her. This woman looked, how can I put this nicely? She looks like she's seen better days. She didn't have a tooth in her head, and her hair was frizzy and wild. Her skin looked like it was falling off her bones, and she might have weighed maybe 80 pounds. Her voice sounded deep, like she'd been smoking a pack of cigarettes every day of her life since she'd been born. When she moved in closer to me, I could smell her, and it was bad. I don't really know how to describe the smell, but it certainly wasn't good. I immediately became aware that this may be a dangerous situation, and I started to slowly back away so I could possibly make a sprint for my car, which was probably about 20 feet in front of her Mazda. She must have noticed that I was trying to slip away because she said, "Wait, it's not the tires, it's something with the engine. The car won't run. Maybe I could use your phone." I told her my phone was broken, which of course was a lie, but I sure as hell wasn't going to take my phone out. Then, in her weird voice, she then said, "Well, maybe you can fix my phone. You look smart. It's just over here in the back of the car." You know how sometimes people do stupid things and you can't quite explain it? Well, I decided to walk over to the back of her car with her at that moment. I don't know if I felt bad for her or what, but for some reason I believed her. We got to the back of the Mazda and she says, "It's back there, it's just open the trunk. I'm just too weak to open it. It sticks sometimes." Every single red flag in my body was shooting up. I finally realized that walking over here was a huge mistake. I turned around and I noticed that the woman had both of her hands in her front hoodie pocket. I grabbed the latch of the trunk, thinking that it was safe to run. I didn't know if this one... Wait, thinking about... Do you sound like Madge from the Palm Olive commercials? Time to buy some Palm Olive, Just open the fucking trunk. Just jump in, okay? I'm just gonna cut you into pieces and make sausage. You're gonna be delicious. I grabbed the latch of the trunk, thinking about if it was safe to run. I didn't know if this woman had a weapon hiding under that hoodie, though. I looked in the rear... I looked in the back window, right before opening that back hatch, and I saw the unmistakable silhouette of a person. I must have made some sort of gasp or noise because while I was frozen in that moment, the woman said, "Open it now." I finally reached my breaking point. I could clearly see what was about to happen. I turned around and pushed the woman directly to the ground as I made a full sprint for my car. I bust open my door, started my car, and I just peeled away. I frantically looked through the mirror and saw the most terrifying thing I'd ever witnessed in the span of like 0.2 seconds. There was a man with a beanie running at my car, and the woman was waving something in her hand that may have been some sort of weapon. but it was a little too dark to be sure. I drove home at probably 85 miles per hour, even though the speed limit was only about 50. And when I got home, I was sweating. I called the police to report what had happened on the side of the road. I would have called earlier, but there was just no service on those terrible dark back roads. And I don't know for sure what those two intended on doing to me, but I know whatever it was not good. I don't know what clicked after that, but shortly after this incident, I moved back to my hometown and I just enrolled in a community college there. To this day, every time I drive on a dark and desolate road, I'm always reminded of that nightmare of a night, and I don't think I'll be forgetting about it any time soon. Wait, did I say beanie? Hell yeah, a man with a beanie baby probably. It was probably a really rare one that he wanted to sell to him. It was Tim Pool. Joel, the funniest thing to come out of the news out of the game are the videos of people committing literal war crimes in the Korok. That's funny. Yeah, I saw some people were making like crazy mechanisms for shit. I saw somebody made a fucking mech warrior and stuff like that. I said beanie. Did I say beanie or bean? He ran at him. He was wearing a bean on his head. Beans. He was wearing a toe bean. He had a cat. Wait, they crucify the... Oh, that's terrible. But also very funny. There are areas of PA that are definitely desolate. Been on Route 80 for miles and miles before and seen maybe 2 other cars, prime road for that kind of crime. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, most of Pennsylvania is just fucking cornfields and shit. And woods. Just lost your membership. I wanted to thank you again for the latest bonus content. I really wish I had access to that video. It generally helped me feel more human. Hey, no worries. Maybe email me or something. Maybe I can forward the audio to you. You can just keep it. Pennsyltucky, yeah, that's what Pennsyltucky is. Literally here listening on my phone charger, so I take it to the kitchen to make dinner while my boyfriend is on day 4. Oh, they do. There's days. Interesting. Well, I guess that makes sense since it's like open world or whatever. I mean, most of pretty much everywhere in the world is between the various towns and stuff like that. I mean, especially the United States. I mean, there's so much. It's a huge place. Massive, you know? There's a ton of just highways, systems connecting things, back roads, desolate shit everywhere you go. In between cities or towns. Oh, 4th day of playing. Okay, nice. Also, this is the last story tonight. Car trouble is the worst. With all the other things we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, having your car break down while you're already late to work or heading to a first date can sometimes feel like the last straw. And for this and a few other reasons, I have transitioned from buying cars to just leasing. I love the low maintenance and reliability of swapping out cars every few years. And the story I'm about to tell you took place 4 years ago. I brought in my SUV for a routine maintenance, and they said that there was a recall that needed to be fixed. I said that that was fine as recalls. I said that was fine as recalls don't cost any additional money. After waiting a few hours for all the work to be done, I headed home to continue the rest of the day. But once I hit the highway, my check engine light came on and the car wouldn't go above 40 miles an hour. I turned around and brought it right back to the shop. They said that whatever they used under the hood to fasten the recall can be detached and they would fix it right away. I was pretty annoyed, but glad it seemed like an easy fix. Now fast forward to 4 days later and the same exact thing happened. The check engine light came on and I couldn't accelerate beyond 30 to 40 miles an hour. I called the shop and let them know that I would be bringing it in immediately, and they kind of tried to push back and said that I needed to make an appointment. I voiced my frustration and let them know how the car had been working perfectly until they did whatever they needed to do with the so-called recall. When I brought my car in, I was met by someone named Jerry, a tall, bearded guy with a few missing teeth. He said he was sorry for the inconvenience and said that I just needed to fill out a little paperwork so they could fix the recall again. It asked for my address, phone number, email, and I'm sure a few other things that I just raced through. It asked for my address, phone number, email, and I'm sure a few other things that I just raced through to finish. Why is that hard to fucking say? It asked for my address, phone number, email, and I'm sure a few other things that I just raced through to finish. After about 45 minutes, Jerry came back out and said that he would personally take care of it and it should be all set. Or that he did. Fuck, man. After about 45 minutes After about 45 minutes, Jerry came back out and said that he personally took care of it and it should be all set. He gave me a wide smile, which looked like a graveyard with all his missing and chipped teeth. I said thanks and headed to my car where the keys were sitting on the seat. As I got in the car and started to leave, I could see Jerry kind of flagging me down. I rolled down my window and he said, man, I'm like seeing shit, what the fuck? I rolled down my window and he said, I just want to make sure there's nothing else I can do for you. Anything at all. I paused for a minute and said, nope, I'm all set, and rolled up my window hoping that he would get the hint. Now fast forward about a week, I was still worried every time I drove my car that the issue was going to happen again. It was a long week at work and I was excited to get some food and sit on the couch and do nothing for the night. About halfway into a movie I was watching, I got a call from an unknown number. I answered it and no one said anything on the other side, and annoyed I respond, hello? Hello? But still nothing except for this very faint sound. It sort of sounded like whispering or breathing. I hung up and went back to the movie, and about 5 minutes later I get a call from the same number. I decided to answer again, and this time, still no answer, but I could hear the breathing much more clearly, and this time, can I help you? Still no answer. I just hung up and blocked the number in my phone. I dozed off on the couch and woke up to what I thought was lightning, or I thought maybe the TV had gotten really bright, but the TV was off. As I tried to gather my bearings, I noticed the flash again coming from my window. I jolted over to my window and experienced one of the most terrifying things in my life. I saw that there was a man, and they were running away from the side of my house, heading to a car parked out on side the road. It was difficult to tell, but once my eyes adjusted, it was clear. I ran to my front door to see if I could get a better look, or maybe a license plate number or something. All I saw was that it was a red rust bucket with a bunch of Sunoco gas stickers on the back. I called the police, reporting the incident. I knew that there wasn't much they could do, but the important thing was to get it filed to 1, be safe, and 2, hopefully get some more patrol cars surveying this area. The following week on my way to work, the car issue happened for the 3rd time, and this time I was irate. I called and embarrassingly was not very pleasant on the phone with the auto shop. I said I was coming in as soon as I could, and I expected the fix to be permanent, or they would be replacing my leased SUV with a new one. I went in and spoke to the manager again, voicing how upset I was and that I expected a fix, or I'd be asking for a new vehicle that wasn't having so many issues. They assured me that they would fasten it? Oh. Peaches, 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 peaches. Oh, peaches. Your safe word is boring. They assured me that they would fasten it so that it would be more likely that the hood... What the fuck is a sentence? They assured me that they would fasten it so that it would be more likely that the hood would fly off than this being an issue again. Okay. See the trailer for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie? Yeah, I just don't, Five Nights at Freddy's kind of came out when I first started YouTube. And I remember it's not that I really cared about Five Nights at Freddy's or I was like a fan of it. It was like, to most people, I feel like back in the day, Five Nights at Freddy's was more like this sort of like cash cow, you know what I mean? Where obviously the guy who made the game made a ton of money, but every YouTuber in the history of fart was fucking reacting to it, playing it, doing theories about it, all that kind of shit. But yeah, none of its actual gameplay ever seemed like remotely interesting to me because it just seemed like a flash game. But maybe I'll go see the movie just for... Isn't the guy from... Isn't Peta from The Hunger Games in it? They assured me that they would fasten it so that it would be more likely that the hood would fly off than this being an issue again. At least, that's what I remember them saying. After waiting only about a half an hour, the manager came out and again apologized and said that they would be waiving any cost for the service. As I was leaving, I stopped dead in my tracks. I saw the same red car with all the stickers on the bumper. I didn't know what to do. I literally was just standing there staring until I saw someone walking up towards the vehicle. It was that guy, Jerry, the toothless wonder that I mentioned earlier. I got in my car and drove off and headed home. I wasn't sure what to do. I didn't know if that was Jerry's car or just a car that the shop was working on. I decided to still call the police and let them know. I was very honest and said, hey, I saw the car. I saw someone get in it. But it's also an auto shop, so I don't really have any more information. I figured that it's their job to do a little digging and connect the dots. But I never did get closure from this incident. The police never followed back up with me. Luckily, I didn't ever have any other incidents of phone calls or people showing up at the house that I was living at the time. I have a whole new vehicle now, which I love, and I make sure that any oil change or inspection is done at a completely different body shop. Corey Kenshin is going to be in it, if any of you know. Oh wait, really? He's going to be in the movie? That's pretty sick. That's actually dope. Pages, 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 pages. Yeah. All right. Let's read this outro script and then we'll everybody go to bed. All 600 of us. Reaction? Maybe we can react to one thing. Wait, nobody leave. You guys can't leave. Maybe we'll react. Is there a limit on how graphic the stories can be? Probably. It just depends on what happened in it. The FNAF games are wait, that's what I mean. The fan games of FNAF on the game Jolt It's Nuts. What? Mario movie is $24, rent $29 to buy on YouTube. Wow, it's already on YouTube and shit? That's kind of impressive. Yeah, well, here, you guys gotta tell me we can watch some short horror shit. Maybe we can watch a few of those. I can take that till we got about 20 minutes till 1 a.m. Fuck it. Let's do it. A movie that will receive a lot of backlash that will eclipse every is the new Indiana Jones. You think Indiana Jones is going to be good? Honestly, I don't think so. I watched the trailer. It does not look that great. Oh, it's going to eclipse all the other ones. Oh, I thought you were going to... I see what you mean now. They're taking it to the next level. Universally hated movie. Alright, let me know. Somebody think of something funny for the end of this. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. I release new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. EST, and there are super fun live streams every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights. I'd love to see you there. If you got a story, be sure to submit them to my subreddit, r/Let'sReadOfficial, or send it over email, and you might even hear your story featured on the next video. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations and bonus content over on Patreon, or click that big join button to hear about the extra perks offered for the channel. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all of these stories in big compilations and save huge on data, located anywhere you listen to podcasts. All links down below in the description. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, rest stops more than... No. Stop remaking every franchise possible. That would be nice. I don't know. I think at this point what we need to do is just like learn how to animate and film shit, and just in the future everything's just going to be like indie stuff. Been listening to Let's Read for years. His videos have helped me sleep at decent time. Normally my ADHD causes me to constantly think at night and keeps me up. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Wonderland Chloe. Appreciate you. Pages. Yeah, I'll just say that. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, pages. Alright. And remember, stay greased up. Okay, we can probably do, depending on how long these short films are. Do you guys have any suggestions for any good horror short films? Pages. Yeah. Watch for the beanies. What you're doing reacts? Oh my god, I am. Let's do it, baby. Vader music. Hello. It was actually good music, though. Kind of just want to listen to elevator music. The Mandela catalog. What was that one shit that we used to, like, it was promoted everywhere forever? It was going to be the Marvel of Monsters or some shit. Short film called Curve. We watched that last time. Were you here? It's funny, somebody else watched Darman. Watched Darman. I remember hearing about Darman. Famous TikToker saves dying business. What's happening is shocking. I've seen Darman. I've seen other people react to Darman. It just looks like so fucking cringe. Oh my god, it gets so many views too. Is it like enjoyable? I remember the acting is so, maybe that's why people watch it. It's just so fucking cringe. Life of Luxury on YouTube now. Mean Story Mean with a 2. So we'd be doing any more Sam Riding stories? Yeah, I mean, you know, it might be like a bonus content type thing, or within the bonus content world of, because coming up in June, I have bonus content for, oh, hi kitty, I have paranormal, true scary paranormal stories coming up, but then I had talked to Sam about, you know, doing another scariest stories you've ever heard, so hopefully he'll be able to bang those out at some point, and That would be a good July tape. I don't know. I would watch Darman just for the cringe of it, but it's honestly so bad that it would just feel like a waste of time to me. Not even to be mean. It's just like I don't even understand how anybody can enjoy that shit. House Rules horror short. House Rules horror short film. Huh. Okay. 'Tis about 8 minutes. Ah, shit. There we go. There we go. And there we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Alright. Financial issues. Or no, that's his money. I don't even know. I was not paying attention. I looked at chat for a second. Oh, cheap place to rent, Florida. Alright. Yeah, he's just sitting there doing his taxes. What's this about again? Looked like the beginning was like domestic abuse and like a kid trying to find a place to move out. I like a place. Would you like a book for a month? The price is very cheap. I hope. How many people? Just instantaneously. It's just me and my 15 dogs. Do not go near the barn at any time. Do not switch the lights after 11 p.m. Just out of nowhere. Just automatically. Like, oh, do you agree? That's a little creepy. Yes, of course. Thank you for additional discount. She's made it. She's very happy. Shit. I feel like I turned this up too loud. Sorry. I can't tell what's good volume, to be honest. Oh shit. The freaking barn, dude. You know the rules, don't goes. Holy shit, reverse. This is some like, Are You Afraid of the Dark soundtrack. Where's the horror movies where you just walking to the house? Whoever did the soundtrack needs to be like triple fired. They'd be fired, then rehired, and then made fun of, and then fired again, and then made to be boss. We should just make horror films, but then like in the title say it's award winning, but we gave it an award before it came out.
Is anybody there?
Well, I feel like even the fact that it doesn't fit, one of the big things is like doing those kinds of sounds so early is just almost like giving away any sort of mystery to your audience. Hello, anyone in the barn that I'm not supposed to go to ever?
You have 1 new messages, 0 saved messages.
This is landlord. I told you. Oh. Oh, so this is the wife. I for some reason thought this was like a daughter and that the domestic abuse was happening to her mom. Joel Havers content? Who's that? TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. The biggest thing to me, that if you ever want to make like a horror film that is taken more seriously, I guess, is like, I just noticed that like ones that you see in the movies, they don't ever do like wide angles like this. Oh shit! Here, hold on. They never do wide angles like this. Like a lot of it's like close-ups on the eyes, on the face, on the hand, like, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of close-ups, and like that's good there obviously because it's trying to show you the message. I couldn't read that. I think it said she needs crack. Helen, are you there? I need crack. Remember that barn you told me not to go to? Well, I did. I need chocolate. She's the plug. She's the plug for real. For Rizzy.
Hi, this is Mary here. Can I please speak to Helen?
Sorry, who's this?
This is Mary.
Mackie.
I'm renting her place in Lakeside Village. I'm facing some issues. Can you please give her the phone?
What do you mean? Is this some kind of sick joke? Helen died 2 years back and we have never put the house back on rent after that. Don't call this number or I'll have you reported.
What? I wasn't paying attention. What happened? I've arrived and I'll be there in a minute. Come open the door. Bing bong ding. I feel like they just keep playing the door knocking sound effect. What the fuck? There's a wolf out there? Some sort of coyote creature? What? Oh my god. It looks like the same actress, just...
Do not break my rules, you bitch!
Oh my god, that was so bad. Fuck, dude. That was like next level shit. I mean, not to put them down, like great, you know, if you took your day to make that video, I'm happy for you. But just like what did that even... Don't go to the barn. Oh fuck, I went to the barn. Well, now here's the monster to kill you. Alright, we kind of have to watch something else. Yeah, we gotta watch an alter. Wait, oh fuck, these are long. These are too long. Well, holy shit, dude. This only has 12 views. Should we watch this? The Cultist, short horror film. Should we watch a 12-view short horror film? It's only 3 minutes. Oh yeah, fuck it. What am I even asking? Oh, this is beautiful. This is better than the last one already. Boing.
Mischievous dog.
You guys gotta go subscribe to this person after this. Ashton, 80, welcome to the Buttersock Cult. You now have access to bonus content. Okay. Young boy just looking for his ball. And casually stumbles across the cult. As one does. And then just keeps walking away. A big chain. This is like a Legend of Zelda dream sequence. Oh, there's my ball. Right down by the river. Oh, he does have some cool socks on. Oh shit! Oh my god. It's a fucking Dark Souls boss, dude. What the fuck? Is this a camera? Oh, he's getting... Oh, I thought it was like reversing it for a second.
Are you a monster? Where? Go, go, go. It's okay. It's okay.
Who's this? Oh my god, he's fucking strapped. Let's go. It's Markiplier. Young one. I've got a stick.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Who are you? What are you doing out here?
Oh, disarmed. You fool. Absolute. Oh. Please, if I'll do a close-up, please spit out blood. That'd be next level. Oh, nice block. Oh, the chains finally conveniently have a use. Goodbye, Markiplier. 1 hour later. What? His friends out in the woods went to defend him with a fucking pistol. And he's like, oh, I gotta go get a glass of water. I gotta piss. I'm thirsty. Mason Liam. Ham. Wait, does that say Ham or Liam? Oh, Liam. Yeah, fuck yeah! Show my fucking muscles. Hell yeah, dude. This is the scariest part of the film right here. Subscribe. Alright. The Cultist. Oh, shit. Well. Fluckin' hell. Oh, damn it. That's not what I wanted to do. I don't even know how to get back to where I am. Whoops, there we go. I'm on my porn page. Sorry. 1.5 thumbs up. I was busy sucking on the other thumb. There really is nothing better than like going back to your old films that you made with your friends in like middle school. That shit's always just like absolute nostalgia. Especially when you show off your fucking muscles in front of the camera for the girls. Yeah, this is my OnlyFans music. Well, friends, thanks for chilling with me. Sorry we couldn't watch more. I just, I do gotta be getting to bed. Getting up at the ass crack of 9 a.m. Which for me is like with the roosters. But, yeah, stay dangerous, my friends. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll be back Streaming probably this Sunday. So stay tuned for that. Follow me on Twitter at Let's Read Creepy, Instagram at Let's Read.official. Hit that notification bell, and I'll get the audio up and ready to rock for the new video on Patreon. It's only $1 a month over there. And then I'll get it up on YouTube, 7 p.m. EST. It does really help when you watch the video right when it comes out. It helps kind of push it out to more people with the algorithm. So if you'd be so kind to check it out as soon as it rolls out, hot off the press, that would be baller. But hey, watch it whenever you want. It's still super awesome. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Hope you have an amazing something. Because you deserve it. But I'll be back soon. Adios.